guys, this is Kayla.
And this is Becky, and we're with A Couple of Bees Read.
And we also review books and drink wine. So what is our weekly wine, Becky?
Well, our weekly wine from Scout and Cellars is Venti, and it is a winery that is in Chile, in South America. And the unique thing about it is where these grapes, it's a Cabernet Sauvignon, and where these grapes are grown is 20,000 feet above sea level. And because of the height of the mountains and its proximity to the Pacific Ocean and everything, that climate is not good for pests. So they have no need for pesticides there in their vineyards, which is great. So that means it meets our clean crafted commitment. And as you know, Cabernet Sauvignon is my favorite wine, and I was real excited. This came in the Scout Circle that I get every month, and I was excited when I opened it up this month and saw this one, because I have not tried this one.
That's good.
Well, I love Cabernet.
Yeah,
Sauvignon.
but the thing with what we've been getting from Scout and Cellar, whenever it is Cabernet Sauvignon, it's like it has so many more flavors than other wines that I've had.
Yeah, this one has it's kind of a bold. It has a black cherry, plum. It's the red fruits that you're tasting. It. Sorry, that went down the wrong way. It also has a taste or hint of espresso in it. That's the
aftertaste.
Yeah, it's that different. Something's a little bit different there, and you're like, what is that? And that's what it is.
That's delicious.
Now, we've had a Venti before. We've had their Mailbox, which is one of your favorite wines.
Yes.
But, this is mine, and so it goes well with things like fajitas and burgers and, tailgating, barbecue, grilling outside, hard cheeses, things like that. So it's a really good wine. So, if you are interested in a Cabernet Sauvignon, check us out. Scout and Cellar.
Absolutely.
Becky Brown as your consultant.
As always, we have the link beneath the video and our information there, as well as on our blog and on our Twitter. So make sure to
not on Instagram at the moment, because we still can't get into our Instagram, and I'm gonna gripe about this every time we make a video until we do. So
hopefully we'll get back in soon.
Eventually,
we'll see.
Okay. Well, our book this week, I loved. Loved The Magician's Daughter.
And if you've been following along, you know that this has been our read along. And we're definitely going to have to do another read along, but I don't know if we could pick a better one.
I don't either. And I have to confess that I finished it way before I was supposed to.
You finished a week early.
Yeah, I did. I just couldn't put it down. And I'm going to say this about it, that it is a standalone book for sure. But in the end, it kind of opens it up where H.G. Perry could actually do a sequel to this if she wanted to.
Right.
But it's you have your closure if you don't like sequels or series or anything. You have closure at the end, but it really opens it up. More story about Biddy in there.
Right.
So
I want one that just explains World War I with the world of magic. That
would be awesome.
Because
it really would.
I still think it's got to have some effect on it, because the book takes place in 1912, and spoiler alert, if you haven't been reading along, you should have, but spoiler alert, at the end, the big problem is that the world is running out of magic.
Right.
And at the end, Biddy, the main character, the magician's daughter, makes the ultimate sacrifice to bring magic back into the world.
Right.
So the world is flooded with magic at the end of the book.
Right.
It's 1912, 2 years before 1914.
And
so
is there some tie there? True.
Yeah. That's the only question that I didn't have answered.
Right.
So I'm hoping for a sequel that answers it.
You know, the talking about Biddy and the ultimate sacrifice, you know, she had been told by, I can't remember, Rowan or Hutchencroft or both of them that, you know, as the mage goes into the world of magic through a chism that's in the world, when they go to gain their familiar, if they stay too long, they just kind of disappear in there. It's just, they fade away. And a human that's not a mage had never entered that before. And so at the end, when they collected all the magic they could collect, and this is where Morgaine comes in, you know, they had to, she had to kind of leave her position sacrifice her position, she thought, at the council in order to get all of the magic that the leader of the council was hoarding. And she does that, and of course, you know, I mean, Biddy can't open the chism, she can't control the magic, and at the end, the magic that they had just was not enough to bring the magic back in, to open it wide enough for the magic to come back in the world. And all Biddy could think is that, wait, I have magic in my heart. And she, you know, and Hutchencroft was like, no, you can't do that. And she did it anyway. And she went in, and thinking in her mind that when she gets in, that's it for me, you know. She was willing to give her life for those people that she loved and for the world in general, to try to bring magic, which to me, magic was goodness, to bring goodness back into the world. And you know, that was amazing. And
and it was especially nice because, so Biddy is a character, like, she's not a mage. And part of her struggle her whole life has been, she feels like she's closed off by magic. So I feel like of all the characters in the story, she could have easily, like, been the one that was just like, no, I'm not gonna, why do I care if magic comes back in the world? It does nothing for me.
Right. Magic doesn't like me, so, you know.
But she made that sacrifice to make the world a better place.
Right.
For something that she could never really harness in the way she'd always wanted to.
Right.
So, yeah. Definitely big hero's journey moment.
Definitely with Biddy, and you know, and I think we see that in her along the way, because like her ride with the puka, you know, she sort of, this magical creature that has tried to kind of coax her along to play, you know, tricks on her when she was younger and all of this, and then she kind of makes this deal with him, and then that's how she learns that how we bring the magic back in the world. So it was a fabulous story. It's one of the best books I've read in a long time. And you know, Aardvark, if you don't do book of the year, you should, because I got, right now, this is my Aardvark book of the year. Oh yeah, they will have to do, other authors are really going to have to do something to displace this one as my favorite Aardvark this time.
The only book I've read that it kind of reminded me of, and I think I mentioned this last week, is it reminds me a little of A River Enchanted.
Right, and I have not read that yet. I haven't, but
part of that, the similarity is they're both based off Irish folklore.
Right.
And legends and that kind of magic system, but they're definitely their own take on magic.
Right.
So if you've read this with us and you loved it and you're like, I don't know what to read next, but I suddenly like fantasy a lot and I want another fantasy book, pick up A River Enchanted. I'm probably going to be looking for more books by H.G. Perry as well.
I am too.
So, because I'd never heard of her before this book.
I had not either, and she has several other books out there, and so I'm really anxious to read something else by her. I just haven't decided which one yet.
Right.
So if you all have followed H.G. Perry before and you have a suggestion, put it in our comments, because
yes.
You know, we're looking for another great book by her.
Yep.
Okay. So, anything else?
I think this was easily 5 stars, and if you haven't read it, you definitely should.
Yes.
If you watch this video without reading it first, and you feel that maybe we spoiled it too much, we didn't. There's
Yeah.
so much more that happens in this story.
Yeah, it's just a wonderful read. It really is. So I can't say enough great things about it. So, but pick it up, read it. Thank you, Miss Perry, for a wonderful, wonderful book.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.